The fans in the pit tonight had their toes in the water, and the band on stage was bugging out like Phife Dawg and Q-Tip and the second album from A Tribe Called Quest. We'll talk about the scene at Jones Beach. We'll hear from fans there in a recorded interview, and we'll reflect on this leg of the tour ending tonight. The DMB post-show stream starts right about now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998. And if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Strong Island, what up? Nassau County, stand up. Suffolk County, stand up. Shout out Massapequa. Farmingdale, what up? Shout out to my guys over at Smithtown Nissan. The Pope of Sports Radio, Mike Francesa, what up? I think he graduated with Jesus from that high school in Nassau County. Levittown, what up? Hicksville, what up? Oyster Bay, birthplace of Billy Joel, what up? Glen Cove, what up? Valley Stream, what up? Shout out to all them college students at Hofstra. Uniondale, stand up. Long live the Nassau Coliseum, even with the asbestos. Port Jefferson, what up? Nyack, what up? Riverhead, what up? Shout out to Westchester County. Y'all got that tornado last week. Sheesh. Rye, New York. Hope y'all doing well. Huntington Station, what up? Shout out to Elmont UBS Arena. Queens, what up? What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. Thank you guys for joining the DMB post-show stream. It is interesting to hear some fans who replied on Twitter, message me, DM me, who were at this show tonight compared to what a lot of fans at home that maybe watch this post-show stream think of the show. I was surprised that some of the fans who I've seen on Twitter, we've had conversations, I've seen the reactions to other things. I was surprised at how much they liked this show. Because again, if you're watching this stream often, you probably like a lot of deep cuts and a lot of deep cuts from pre-2009. That's not what we got tonight. But I think about 95% of the crowd there enjoyed the show tonight. And most of the crowd enjoyed the show. But like Long Island, to me, interviewing people who go to these shows from Long Island, giving us the scene these years that I've had the post-show stream, going to Long Island for a lot of different events, from J. Cole concerts to New York Islanders, Philadelphia Flyers hockey games. It's just different. And so a lot of these fans for the first time heard Baby Blue. Like they had never heard this song before. They may have been going to DMB for 30 years, never heard this song. First time it's played at this venue. A lot of fans enjoyed the show flow for tonight. And so 4 venue debuts, American Baby, Grace Is Gone, which is wild. That Grace Is Gone is a venue debut for Jones Beach. Like they've been going here since the 90s. Fool in the Rain, venue debut, and obviously Baby Blue. Right. So it's just interesting to see how and put in the comments if you were there, if you weren't there, what did you think of the set tonight? I think a lot of people from Long Island are going to love it. But if you're a fan of like what I'm doing here on YouTube, you may be a little bit disappointed. But it's just, I'm just kind of trying to take in, like, I'll just say this. This set was not for me. It wasn't for me. What I got at other venues this year, even Hartford, where I kind of was like, if you were watching the Hartford stream, I was like, this is great, but I feel like Jake Ryan Simpson should be here. And things changed at the last minute. And so it's like, but still, like Hartford got stoned, Fool to Think, Pig. Yes, I know without Jake, but still Pig. Cha-Cha. Tonight, like, this would not be a show for me, but that's okay. I didn't go. I didn't go to the show. Someone in the comments says they were there and it was a set for Hit Lovers. This looked like a festival show. Watching it on the couch tour, it was like a festival show. And yes, Alligator Pie was played, but they played Alligator Pie in New Orleans at Jazz Fest, our last Jazz Fest appearance. That was last year, I believe. And so, but let's circle back and we'll get to some of the stuff here. But to me, if we look at the history of this band, it's understandable why this set was like this. And I'm going to give the band, like, for what I love in a show. And again, it's not, they played for the crowd. They played for the crowd. Again, a lot of people and it's okay. You don't have to be a diehard fan that goes to every show. A lot of the Long Island crowd is only going to this show. Yes, some people went to Forest Hills and they had 6 repeats from Forest Hills, but like, you're still kind of a minority in this crowd. These are a lot of locals, a lot of people that don't get off the island for concerts. Maybe they go to MSG, but they're not going to go see Dave at SPAC per se. Some will. Some people on Long Island do go up. But the people that, like the majority of this crowd is just, they're here, right? They go to Long Island, they're local, that's it. So, but what I'll say is this. This band thought by now, and more importantly, their crew, they thought Wednesday, July 29th, they were going to be home with family. They were going to be with loved ones, girlfriends, wifey, nephew, whoever. And some of them, I'm pretty sure, booked vacations for the middle of the week because they're like, all right, we got to get everything set in Hartford. And then you'll get flights home Sunday, and then by Monday, Tuesday, you're off to a beach somewhere or wherever whatever is vacation for the hardworking crew and fans. And so to keep this tour extended, not just an extra day. We had 2018. We'll look at that in a second. 2018, you have Orange Beach, Alabama, and a similar show like this. Now, Orange Beach, Alabama, also in the water. That show was postponed because of a tropical storm / hurricane at the time. That in May, that they pushed it back to the day after West Palm Beach Night 2. And so that was another show where the band thought they were going to be home and they had to extend the day. But this is a whole extra half week. So I'm not going. So for people who were, when you look at what we've gotten in this past month, especially since Jake returned, the Jake over took effect. This show is probably not as good as those shows per se for fans who were like, oh, these are the shows I wanted. I wish I would have went to SAC this year. And Shane, shout out to Shane from Denver, or in the Denver metro. He's from out here in East Coast, but he's out in the Denver. He says no FOMO. That's the thing. There's no, it's like, oh man, this was the final show of the East Coast. I wish I would have went. I'm glad I stayed home. But again, this is not about me. I think they played to the crowd. But let's take a look down memory lane and take a look at a couple of things. So we have this show, Orange Beach, Alabama, originally for May 27, 2018. They play West Palm Beach Night 1, West Palm Beach Night 2, and the next day they play this show. Right? One Sweet Word opener, Stay or Leave, play tonight, Satellite, play tonight. But One Sweet Word is a good opener. But then you get to Again and Again, okay, Crush, but it's like a festival set. Samurai Cop at the time, 39 plays of Samurai Cop. Oh, I don't miss 2018. Respectfully, I don't miss it. Bayou was played 30 times. Sledgehammer, come on. Don't Drink. All right, that's a cool one. That's bringing it back to the streets. Digging a Ditch. Okay, that's a rarity. Six plays of 9. Then Warehouse. Okay. Then Can't Stop. Oh my God, that song was. You Might Die Trying. Okay, Here on Out, Every Day, Funny the Way It Is, and Sister Shake Me. So there's no there's some fun songs in there, sing-along songs, but this was a show they were the band was already mentally, and also Orange Beach, Alabama, you got a lot of fans who that's the only show they were going to see that summer. So it's the band in both instances tonight in Orange Beach, they played to the majority of the crowd. They played to the majority of the crowd. But I think for people who watch this stream and you're seeing what's been unfolding, even going back to Guilford, but don't go to Guilford because there's bears there. But from Guilford to Burgettstown, and even Hartford looks a lot better now, in my opinion. For what I like and what most people who watch the show like, Hartford looks a lot better than tonight. I apologize to Hartford this evening and said, I'm sorry, Hartford, I was a little too hard on you. You gave me the Stone, Fool to Think, and Pig, and Break Free with the 06 outro. None of that here. But again, look at this show. Now, there's a difference here but this show is the preview of this is what's going to happen if a show's tacked on to the end of a really big break. This day, 7/29/2018. Funny enough, that's literally to the day in 2018. That's the same. Like the band was supposed to be after 7/28. The band was literally on their planes back home. That's what was supposed to happen, West Palm Beach Night 2, but they had to add an extra day. So when you have this show tacked on right before a tour break, where they're going to have almost a month or a month plus off, the band mentally, like that's hard for the crew, everyone. Now let's look at this show 8/20/2022. Now this is an example of a different type of rescheduling. This show was originally in May, but it got added on to the second leg of that 2022 tour. It was not at the end of July. They moved it to August. They also had 2 nights. And so you have a pay for what you get in the E1. You get a 2-step, right? You get some cool things in the middle of this. And then you have a night 2 right after that. And so the band is rescheduled, but they're locked into 2 shows, a Liberation of Cry Freedom here, right? And this was Alexis was at this show, and rest in peace to Alexis, who had passed. She passed away a little, I think a little bit after this or the next year. But she requested Granny. They opened with it, which is awesome, man. That's awesome. And so these shows for 2022 to have a cry freedom liberation so right, all that stuff, break free pops in there, right? This is 2-night stand. Okay, so going back to the set, because someone said I don't get into complaining of the set. The first 3 songs are phenomenal. Warehouse, Granny, American Baby. American Baby has proven me since Gorge last year it belongs. Then you get Madman's Eyes. This is where you get a little bit of a snooze fest. Okay, Madman's. If you go to 2 or more shows a year, you're probably sick of this song. It was a great song when it first started out. The intro is elongated so much that it's the And then you have Proudest Monkey, Into Satellite, which is just like at this point in this career, it doesn't do anything. Right? Now Satellite gets the casual fan up, right? Gray Street comes in, but here's the thing, Gray Street replaces Raven. So when you look at this set, like, bro, Raven would have really been a huge X factor, but it's replaced with Gray Street, which is not a bad song, but it's like, wait, we could have got Raven, right? Gravedigger is kind of, I'm indifferent on, but the problem with Gravedigger, it's tied to this drum solo that you hope Say Goodbye comes into based on the colors that Fenton plays. You know what's going to happen. Grace is Gone, again, when you have a fire set, Grace is Gone is a great little thing, but it's like we're waiting for something big and Grace is Gone comes. Then you have Alligator Pie, which, again, some fans today completed Big Whiskey between Alligator Pie and Baby Blue being paid. But it's like Alligator Pie, if you're a fan of, yes, it's a rare song. But like there's a difference between Alligator Pie, a Big Whiskey song being played, and something like If I Had It All coming back. Or Kit Kat Jam coming back. Like it's a huge difference. So if that is the tour debut, okay, it's I think a lot of fans who don't travel, they're gonna appreciate that. But the fans who have been to a lot of different shows who also added on Jones Beach, Alligator Pie is Someone wants to know how you know there was a song change. I'll show you. Jeff Coffin posted the original set list. So if we go over, let me show you here. Jeff Coffin posted the original set list. I'll get this set up here. And I shared it. So this was the original set list. And if you see right next to Satellite, you have a Raven. Well, Raven wasn't played. It was Gray Street. So Jeff will post this. Someone will usually take a picture of the set list and pass it to the almanac, or you see it on socials. And so Raven was supposed to be there, and instead it's Satellite. So that's a good question. Good question, though. So again, Alligator Pie comes in 41. Yes, it's 41, but there's still no violin on this play. There's no sax solo. To me, the song is half of what it is. And again, some fans are I still sing along to the song, right? I still sing along to the song. I love the lyrics, but after that, it's like, bro, electric guitar, trumpet. I need some sax. I need some violin. They've had violin on some of these with Jake, and it's beautiful. Black and Bluebird is a song I do like. But again, with the context of this set, it's like, bro, we haven't had anything to really, there's no X Factor deep cut that pops in. If they would have played Raven and they would have played like another deep cut, like if they would have played Sugar Will, or even if they would have played Kit Kat Jam or JTR, just Raven and another deep cut in the middle of this set changes the dynamic. I don't need the whole set to be about me, but it's like if I try to go to shows where I'm going to get a couple of these gems here and there. And even Hartford had Fool to Think and The Stone and Pig. Like those 3 songs alone are like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I came. So that's, and then Black and Bluebird, after that you get Fool in the Rain, which again, for this crowd is going to hit well. But for a lot of fans that are like, hey, I want JTR, right? And then If Only, which is this song, you've heard me say it before. It just, to me, it does not land well live. I heard it this year already. I've heard it other years. It just does. It's a great song for a romantic comedy, but it just doesn't hit well live. Stay or Leave comes in, and okay. It's not like a game changer, but it's not a bad song. Then they play the Space Between. Baritone comes out. Space Between. Again, people who like the hits like that, but I don't need the Space Between at a show, but it's a hit. So okay, but if there's two other deep cuts in this set, all right, they're playing Space Between for the fans who like the hits. Nancy's comes in, and this is another song where, again, I think it's a great song. The jam section just it needs violin. It needs violin for me again, but for some fans, this is gonna be a great song. You know, Dark Clouds may hang over you. Then PNP into Rapunzel, which is pretty like instead of having PNP in a two-step or something, like a PNP in a two-step would have changed the end of this set. But alas, it's PNP into Rapunzel. The encore is actually probably one of the best parts of the set. Baby Blue as a rarity, and then Don't Drink the Water to close out with some energy. Now, another thing that I wanted to point out here is, so there was something going on with Dave's guitar for Alligator Pie. Now, from what I believe, Alligator Pie is played, and I'm gonna get a picture someone sent me. It's on Dave's Natural Reso Electric, and that has a resonator on it. And I believe it's tuned in high B or raised B. I don't know for sure because I don't get it a lot, but it's either raised B or it's B tuning like the baritone. And so the guitar was not working from people reports on the ground to me were telling me like it looked like there was something wrong with that guitar. So he used the raised B or high B tuned guitar that he used tonight for a song like Stay or Leave. You Never Know's on there. Beach Ball's on there. If they ever play it again, I got a SPAC. But nonetheless, Dave played this for what I believe is the first time ever on a acoustic raised B guitar versus the electric resonator packed raised B guitar, which is the natural Reso Electric. And so that's a pretty interesting tidbit right there. The pit was flooded. And it was up. People had to take their shoes off and stuff. Like people were had their toes in the water. The water went up to their ankles, if not higher. If you were in the pit, let us know. Orchestra section. So the part close to the stage is like a whole orchestra section, and they put the pit in there. And then they have seats that actually are put in, padded seats, like almost like the old courtside seats that you used to have. The courtside seats now are pretty legit for basketball, but the older courtside seats that have some nice padding, those are behind there. And so, flooded, and then there was bugs. So I don't know what happened with the bugs or how they got there. What I do know is watching the couch tour, there were bugs everywhere. Apparently bugs got on to Buddy's keys. I was able to confirm that with him. Like he's playing his keys and there's bugs there. And apparently 2 bugs went into Dave's nose in the middle of the show. So I don't know how the bugs were attracted. Maybe because of, when it rains though, you get certain swarms of bugs in wet areas. And so this stage during high tide, water is coming in. And this happens all the time at Jones Beach. When it rains or after rain, the orchestra does flood. They built this thing in the 50s on like the actual stage is in the ocean. And so yes, someone was like, oh, this would be great with no logic included. But hey, that's Long Island for you. Someone thought this was, and let's see if we can get a Google Maps of this. Let me switch out. Give me 1 second, guys. And we'll get a Google Maps to show you. Just to show you, the stage is in the water. So you guys can't hear. There you go. Right. So if we zoom out, high tide comes in and sweeps up in here. I mean, you're done. Water is going to rise up and get into this orchestra. The orchestra is right at the bottom here. And so the higher levels of seating don't have any sort of issue with water. But this stage is going to intake water after a lot of rain today in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. So yeah, bugs were probably attracted to that. I've never seen bugs like that. Now I've never been to Jones Beach. I've been to other parts of Long Island, but I've never been to a concert here. But yeah, it's crazy. And so one thing I said online today, I was like, they should just play at the Nassau Coliseum or UBS Arena. This is a hassle to, but again, they like playing. I mean, well, I don't know if they play here. They're contracted to play here. It's a Live Nation venue. It is what it is. Let's go over a couple of things. It said 6. Did I say all this already? So these were the 6 songs from Forest Hills. And I think this was now this is the complaint from fans who go to a bunch of shows. They go to, and they try to hit up a lot of their local shows. 6 repeats from Forest Hills: Madman's Eyes, Proudest Monkey, Satellite, Gravedigger, Number 41, Fool in the Rain. Right. That's a good chunk of this show. That is taken over by songs also played at Forest Hills, which is not far from here in Queens, New York. The distance, the only thing that makes it a little bit of a drive is you got to get out of the beach, back onto the main part of Long Island, go through some parkways with a lot of traffic, but it's not that far relatively from this venue. In Queens, Long Island and Queens are kind of connected. Like New York City splits off at Queens, and then Queens starts this really Long Island. Queens is on Long Island. So it's not that far away. Right. And so, and the Raven being switched out, it makes sense too, because Dave is trying not to repeat songs from the previous show at a venue. And Gray Street was played last time. 3rd straight year Gray Street was played at Jones Beach, I believe, is what someone said who was at the show. So also, this is kind of funny because this is also part of it. And I think this is one of the things that can be frustrating. I'm going to put up one of my tweets from beginning of the show, which kind of eerily foreshadows what happened tonight. If you didn't like the last show at Jones Beach, if there were too many deep cuts, if you didn't like that show, you probably loved tonight. If you didn't like tonight, you probably loved the last show at Jones Beach. Let me post what I had here. So I said, what happens when last year's midweek Jones Beach show was a banger and DMB isn't repeating many songs from the previous venue show? We will find out tonight. Hopefully there's some JTRs and Dreaming Trees. There was none of that tonight. And so let's look at the show last year. So Dave is trying to mix it up for fans, and I think most of the fans did love tonight's show. At the venue, he pleased the crowd. But again, you have fans who are just adding on one more show, who maybe were like, what's this? And it's a small percentage. Most of the fans walked away happy. Last year, Drunken Soldier opens up. Gray Street, The Stone. The only thing is a newer song, and it's pretty cool. It's grooving. And then you go right into a Fish Tender. Now, Stay or Leave was repeated here, but that was one of the repeats from last year. But and Stay or Leave goes into So Right. Brian Wilson passed away in the time between this show and the last time the band took stage. So he does a tribute to Brian Wilson. God Only Knows, Beach Boys, Partial, Crash Into Me, Jimmy Thing, Every Day. That's a little bit of a slower part, but again, that's for the casual fans. Do You Remember? Then you get to Rhyme and Reason and Spoon debuting back to back. That's wild. Rhyme and Reason and Spoon back to back. Do not go to the bathroom, because What You Are comes up next. Then you have a Tripping Billies. Now, the Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself, Sly from Sly and the Family Stone. I believe he had passed away in between the time from the last show and this show. Peace on Earth is a meh E1, but then you go right to Two Step. So this show, to me, this is the type of show, hey, I would love to be at this show. The show tonight, hey, I'm happy for the people who had fun, but is this worth driving about 2.5 hours without traffic? It'd probably be 3.5 with traffic from Connecticut, where I live in Hartford. So again, I'm just trying to break this down. And the other layer of this is, I think this is the other part of this situation too, right? The other part of this is, if this show is played last week, Jake Renning-Simpson is a guest. It doesn't matter what's on the set. If Dancing Nancy's is on the set with Jake Renning-Simpson, that is one of the highlights if he sits in on Dancing Nancy's. Even if he sits in on Alligator Pie. Bruh, we got violin. 41 is better because of violin. But if Jake comes in at Alligator Pie and plays the rest of the show, this show is a whole different beast because you have violin on this stuff. 41 needs violin. Black and Bluebird. Hey, Jake could make it more interesting for fans who don't like it. I like the song, but a lot of fans think it's slower. Fool in the Rain. Hey, take a little bit of Timmy off and put some violin on that. It's better. If Only could absolutely use some violin. Da, 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 da. Like some violin, no strings pulling. Stay or Leave could. Space Between. I mean, you can't go wrong. Nancy's and then PM and Rapunzel with violin. Yes. Yes. And Don't Drink with violin. Again, I think with anyone who was like, oh, Jake is back at SPAC. If he keeps coming and I'm at Jones Beach, I'm going to get a show. You go from that to then it gets rescheduled. But again, I give the band a pass. I'm just breaking down what I think some people who don't like this show, why they don't like this show. Right. But I think the majority of the crowd liked it. I think Long Island DMB fans in general like this show. And so that's where we're at. Let's go ahead. We're going to get some listen-ins from Kumi. Oops. I didn't mean to put that. That's my video. I do have a video coming up. I'm going to break down yet again, even on the Jones. Someone sent me a picture of the Jones Beach page. People keep thinking this band is physically on stage doing sound checks. Guys, they're playing previous shows. So we'll have a video coming up later this week, or I will. I did talk to someone who's literally is there. It's not Buddy. No, don't worry. I was like, oh yeah, Buddy. Hey man, what up? No, I talked to someone who's been who's been there when the band does, when the audio, the sound crew is doing their thing. We'll break it down from A, B, C, D, E, F, G of what happens and why people are mistaking what the band is doing for the actual band not being there on stage. It's other things going on that sounds like the band's there. But stay tuned for that. Later this week, it'll be. I'll put it on YouTube too. It'll be on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Once I finish it, let's listen in to Kumi. This video came out grainy because there's bad service in Jones Beach or in Wantagh, so this is a little grainy. But we'll listen in.
What's up? It's Kumi.
Krispee, what's up, guys? How we doing?
We're here for Contrabase 34 stream.
Yeah.
We just finished the show here at Wantagh, New York, on Jones Beach. Krispee, what'd you think?
Well, my feet are wet right now. If you want to pan to the bottom.
Yeah, let's
quick.
take a look here.
Yeah.
Our feet are wet. It is wet out here.
We are wearing bathing suits right now. It didn't rain.
Did not rain. We were planning for the weather to hit us, but it hit us one way or another. Chris, what do you think of the set?
Set was okay. We had a great time. It was a Wednesday. It was a little bit slow, but we were vibing. We were having a good time. Warehouse opener was good. Into Granny. We liked that.
Yeah, the first 9 songs all kind of seemed pretty predictable. Maybe I had the wrong expectations tonight since it's the 4-leg closer and because it's a makeup show, but I was expecting a little bit more variety in that.
What were the highlights tonight? We had Alligator Pie. That felt good.
Definitely the highest of the high for me tonight.
It was the highest of the high.
It was my first time seeing that, so that was really cool.
There was a lot of bugs flying around the top there, and he said, this is some bug music.
Yeah, definitely a reference to some bug music, a lot of that.
Yo, my name's Darren. I just met them. apparently they have a podcast going, and tonight was great. I think they're a little tired. They've been on the road for a long time, but the energy was great. Don't Drink the Water closer was phenomenal. Dave's vocals were on point, hitting all the falsettos.
I think we had
Timmy was great.
We had a rain/wet theme tonight. I think we had 3 songs referencing the potential rain and the flood that we're in right now.
And the water that you should not be drinking, which is all around
We have
us.
a full moon, we have a rising tide, and we have wet feet. So what do we have? Fool in the Rain, right?
Yeah.
We had Space Between, mentioning the rain, and then Don't
With
Drink
the
Water.
electric.
Yeah,
That was,
with the electric.
that was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
We had Nancy's
And
with
he
Dark
did,
Clouds.
he did Alligator Pie acoustic.
He
That
did,
was,
well,
that was
yeah.
kind of new.
Or he said his
It was-
guitar was broken, so we had to bust out the acoustic.
That was cool, yeah.
what he said?
They broke. We saw the alligator pie guitar from the side.
And that's a
And-
rarity. I don't think we heard that all tour.
Yeah, it was a tour debut. We
So
saw
that was a gem.
They brought the guitar out that we know they do alligator pie on, and then he handed it back.
If you guys don't
Right.
notice, we're flooded here.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the rows, like literally, we're standing
Look to
in
the
the
pit
ocean.
here. Take
Yeah,
a
let's
pic of the
take a
pit
look at the
there.
pit here.
Yeah.
But like, it was,
The pit is flooded.
We got wet feet, rising tides, and good vibes, baby. Come on.
it was a
All right, final thoughts in the parking lot.
We're back. Final thoughts from the lot. Let's go.
I guess we'll talk about the poster real quick. It was a methane. Wasn't my favorite. I don't know if they changed the date on it or not. But I don't think any of us got it.
Nope.
Yeah. Any final closing thoughts about the show?
Low energy, but good vibes. Rescheduled show, could tell. It's a Wednesday. It's a full moon. It's a high tide. And we had fun. That was that.
We did have fun.
Favorite moments of the night? Alligator pie.
Definitely alligator pie.
That came out of nowhere. Baby Blue, I kind of like that song. Makes you feel good.
The
right?
venue was cool too. I mean, it's a
Venue's
cool,
beautiful.
it's a unique venue on the water. My
Didn't
first time out
rain.
here.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Did not rain, yeah.
Didn't
But we did get soaked. But did not rain.
We did. It came from under.
Yeah.
Darren, what were your
Yo.
final thoughts on the show? How do you
what's
feel?
up, guys? So I've been 4 times this year to see them, and what I've learned is that they're aging like fine wine. They're getting tired. Shit's like, you know, the jams aren't as extended, but what they create is very solid and tight. And I think it doesn't matter on the song at this point. It's like we're all searching for random gems like Blue Water
Hell
or
yeah.
Number 40 or like just like anything like that. But what I've learned, man, is like we gotta appreciate the band for what they are, and we're lucky to have them. And they're one of the best to do it. And you know,
Fuck
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's a good way to end it.
Hell yeah.
And I
Kumi,
hope you guys
Krispee,
have a
and
great night.
Darren, signing off.
Signing off.
Thank you,
Peace
Marcus, for
out.
having us on.
All right. Thank you guys for watching that. Cliff Burton, I know you're in the chat, bro. You're in timeout. We get it. The band skipped Alpine. Let it go. We don't need this in the chat. So you bye. You're in timeout. All right. Jeez. Let's act like adults here on the chat. What about Alpine? What about, bro? People almost died in the tornado. I'm sure the band doesn't want to go back. Or the potential tornado that missed us. Anyway. So great perspective from there. I don't know who that dude Darren just popped up. That's kind of great. He followed them back to the car. Yeah, I hope they safe, man. Let's see what else. Yeah, so they gave perspective, and Kumi and Krispee they travel to a lot of shows each year. I would say at least like 3-4 more, 3 to 4 plus a year. And so they gave great perspective as far as being fortunate to get alligator pie, having the rain theme. I still just think, and again, this is a show. All right, it was what it was. I do think the precedent for rain shows should be like a JTR or something on that level. Like the space between and the Fool in the Rain, I don't think I don't think if you suffer through a delay or a reschedule, those songs to me aren't sufficient. If this was not if this was not like the last show of the tour of this leg, right? And they're like they were expecting me home. Like if it's rescheduled to like Shake a P Minnesota, like that's rescheduled to after the break. So like if they were like, hey, sorry, we're sorry you got rain, let's play a cover, Fool in the Rain. Like I don't like that. I don't like that vibe. I think you should get a JTR or just get nothing. Play no rain songs. Just play other stuff. It used to be more of if it was raining or it had rain, or if it's raining at the time of the show start, you would get a JTR. I don't think the Fool in the Rain and the space between stuff is a good equivalent. So we'll see what the band does, but it is what it is. Let's see. The poster was not remade. Now, there was a lot of talk and chatter like on the poster groups about like, oh, are they going to remake or reprint the poster? There were some people who bought it through the warehouse. Some were sold at the venue. When the first scheduled date for this venue was last week. And the poster actually is, it's not as bad as some of the other methanes. Right? But it's still a methane, and so it's not going to, like, it didn't sell out. I had some people tell me that were leaving the venue that it did not sell out. But some people were wondering, were they going to reprint this poster or make an alternate version? And I was like, absolutely not. So what happened, if you're not familiar with this, just a quick story. I was at the Alpine Night 2 show in 2024, and the show was postponed due to tornado. There were about 3 or 4 tornadoes within a close distance to the actual Alpine Valley venue. Like if you look at like within like 100-mile radius, there were at least 3 or 4. There was a couple others that like closer to Milwaukee that hit. And so because that show had a tornado warning and there was really bad winds and bad weather, I'm glad they postponed that show. It would have been terrible if everyone was in the venue. Before that, they actually sold posters and they actually opened the door. So I have a poster from that original Alpine Night 2. It's a Dan Mumford poster. It has the venue in the background. They sold a lot of posters because that's a 2-night stand. It was a Saturday show. There was tailgating for hours before the gates open, and then the gates open and they have posters inside and people are buying them. So thousands upon thousands of posters were sold for that Alpine Night 2. So when the show was rescheduled to the Sunday after Deer Creek, Dan Mumford created an alternate variant of that poster, and that poster was sold with the updated date for that. I think it was like a June 30th type show or something like that. And so because this show was postponed and be rescheduled, a lot of the poster community wanted to know, are they going to make another poster? And I was like, they're not going to do that. This is a one-night stand, Jones Beach. It's not known for poster lovers coming out and buying up the posters. And that's okay. Not every site, not every venue is going to be one where you have a lot of poster buyers to the level it sells out. It's hard to do that now. It's to sell out a poster. I've seen it. It's happened this year, but a lot of those have been big 2-night stands, or a Hartford Saturday, that Ken Taylor poster, which was beautiful. You make a good poster in the right venue, it's going to sell out, but it's still hard. And so I didn't think this poster was going to be remade. They were going to take whatever was left and sell it at the show, and that's exactly what it did tonight. Same date, the 7/21/26. But boy, did this show, this show being rescheduled. Now the band, I credit the band for coming back. They could have just said, we're going to cancel it. I feel bad for fans because some fans could not get refunds from what I was hearing. Some people messaged me yesterday through Ticketmaster. I don't know with the warehouse, but through Ticketmaster for sure, they did not give refunds. And I'll say this, Alpine decided, Jones Beach decided not to, but Alpine, when I had the Dave Nato situation, they did allow fans, warehouse and Ticketmaster, I believe, to get refunds. Because that was the day I had a Ticketmaster ticket. because I think night 1 I bought Warehouse and I was further back. Night 2 I got a better seat on Ticketmaster than I would have through the Warehouse likely. So it was that I got a refund for that. I was able to get a refund. I couldn't come back. I was, at the time, my wife was pregnant. No one knew except me and my wife and maybe like a couple other people. My parents didn't even know yet. But it was like, oh yeah, me, my wife, and then maybe her doctor. So like, anyway, I was like, bro, I gotta, like, first of all, this tornado almost took me out. I'm about to be a father in 9 months. I'm going home. I'm not staying here. I can't fly back to Wisconsin or fly back to Chicago and drive up to Wisconsin. So anyway, I got a refund. Wish there was a show, but I got a refund for that show date. I think for some people at Jones Beach, they were saying they were having issues doing that. And it is what it is. Someone in the chat saying, problem is there are too many sections of this fan base sections of this band people like. Absolutely, that's correct. Yeah. He said someone at SPAC was going crazy for If Only, right? Yeah. It was, yeah, there's something that somebody is like, I remember, what was it? I was at a show in like 2019. She had just came out in 2018 and someone was like, oh, I hope we get She. I really want She. And they were going crazy. They were the only people going crazy in the whole section for She. So that's the thing is, yeah, there's somebody that likes some cross section of this. Like I saw the set tonight. I was like, oh no. Even like, Couch Tour is going to be negative, or even this post from this Facebook group is going to be negative. People are like, oh, I wish I was there. I was like, and listen, that's what it is. I've always been honest that I like what I like and other people like what they like. But it's just funny because people, oh, best set ever. Or like there'll be a set like Jake, some of these Jake shows. I'm like, yo, this actually is a really good show. Like these SPAC shows are some of the best I've been to. And someone's like, but they didn't play this song. They didn't play Gaucho. Bro, who cares about Gaucho? The Seek Up that Jake played night 1, right? The Halloween night 2. Who cares? I was chasing Gaucho, bro. You got Beach Ball night 1. Okay. You got some legendary stuff night 2 from SPAC. So I was like, I wanted this. So it's just like everyone has what they come to the well of DMB for different reasons. And that's a great point. Someone says, wish the Hammer was on tonight. Yeah. If this show had more of a notable, again, you can say this show is good. There's nothing wrong with that. But this show didn't have really anything notable to be like, I was going to try to say, hey, let's have a guest. Now, let's take the video review, call it a day. There wasn't anything like, oh my gosh, they played people. And then Warren Haynes was playing his guitar from the second deck or the upper deck. And then Tatiana Hargraves came on a skydive into the venue and played violin. Like this show pleased the crowd for sure, but it was not something where I'm like, here's 5 different crazy stats I have from tonight, right? The biggest thing is Alligator Pie was played on the Raise B. And that's cool, but there's no like if this show was more epic or had something crazy in my eyes, at least, I would be like, all right, we got to get Hammer on the line. Yeah. So and that's the thing. Someone's, if this is my it's my local venue, I'll take it. Yeah. So that's the thing is a lot of fans, come to a show like this in Jones Beach and they're playing to the certain crowd that they kind of anticipate and they like it. This is not the show that if you went to Forest Hills, if you went to SPAC and you were hoping for something crazy, like it just wasn't going to happen tonight. And that Alabama show from 2018 really gave us a little taste of that. And I really wish that Jones Beach could have had Jake. I wish Hartford could have got him too, but things change. And that's what it is. Things change. Basically they stay the same. So, to wrap up this first leg of the tour, this first leg is interesting because I believe that the real winner of this, now, obviously SPAC was SPAC, but I think the South rose again. That sounds wild, right? I'm not for the Confederate, the Confederation or the Confederate states to rise up and separate and secede from the Union again. But I think the winners of this first leg of the tour overall was the Southern shows. If we even go back, shout out to Jackson who was on for some of these. If we even go back to the beginning of this tour, right, and we look at some of these sets, right, the Woodlands comes in. Broken Things is liberated. Cha-Cha is liberated. Right? That was a great start. Yes, they always have liberations in Texas for the most part. But then night 2, Kit Kat Jam is liberated. First Kit Kat Jam since 2013. I Did It stays around for people who like that. Granny opener. Granny is the only song that has opened 2 shows for the summer tour, I believe. A Stone Closer in the second night of the tour. And that was the only rye whiskey, but hey, what it is. And then you continue on to Austin, and Jake Rennick Simpson comes back. He's letting people know it was last year was not a fluke. He's coming back. You get a fish tender with Jake. I mean, a fish tender without Jake. You get 41 with him. Broken Things with Jake. And you get a Snow Outside Liberation. First Snow Outside since 2016. And the first full band DMB performance since 2015. I think that Snow Outside 7/6/2016. What was it? I remember it, but I don't remember it. Oh, it was Dave and Tim. That was at CMAC, right? So I think this run in Texas was crazy. Then you go to Alpharetta, and it does this. This was okay. Right? That's all I gotta say. So maybe not Georgia, but Texas and Florida. And those were the 2 ones that were skipped. And then Charlotte gets Casey Dresden. Right? On some songs. Paper Town debuts. So Charlotte gets a great show. Orange Beach. We'll skip Orange Beach. But Texas and Florida. And then you get this West Palm Beach run. Right? And, this is Tampa. Sorry, this is Tampa. But Tampa has some good stuff. Halloween is a tour debut in Tampa. So Much Bridge, Too Much to So Right. Busted Stuff comes around. Only busted stuff of the tour in Florida. In Tampa. That's an awesome little, thing that they can keep for this first leg. So Tampa is going to be a midweek show. But then you get to the weekend and Carlos Malta and Jake Rennick Simpson pull up for 2 nights. And you get a lot of stuff. What You Are comes in early on, but then you get all this cool stuff. Say Goodbye with Carlos Malta, Crush with him, and then Jake comes on for Lion Our Graves, Drunken Soldier, etc. So you get these great shows in West Palm Beach that are like, okay, this is setting the standard for the rest of the tour. And people knew like, okay, Jake probably won't be at Deer Creek. Just they were looking at the tour schedule. He maybe had some other stuff, but what a great 2-night stand. Raven comes in, recently comes in. Only Lover Lay Down of the tour so far. The Last Stop closes the set. Ants closes out with Jake being there. And some more plays of Broken Things, Warehouse, all that stuff that he had been on before. But it's always great to get another pass at those. And Raleigh got Tatiana Hargraves. And so I think North Carolina, Florida, in Texas, they got some stuff, and they got some above average stuff for their region, and I think that was great. After this little run, when they come closer to the east, Virginia Beach it's interesting because Virginia Beach, it gets the When the World Ends tour debut, which is like, at least for me, like, tour debut of a song we didn't need back. And this is more of a casual fan, hits only type vibe. But this set was like, it is what it is. And so you start seeing some sets with some different flows. Forest Hills, this was all about the Knicks that night. So Casey Dresden does come in, which is kind of overshadowed by Knicks, the Knicks series. But Casey Dresden flies up to New York and is up there for part of the set. But a lot of fans left upset that Madman's Eyes closed out. I understand why they did that. They were trying to get fans out. The Knicks were playing. It was it was the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. So tip of the hat to Dave for closing with something that would get people to leave Madman's Eyes. So you get up to Forest Hills, then you get to Mansfield. This show was meh. This is the worst show in New England, in my opinion. You get to Bristol, you get a Stone came out here, and a Beach Ball came out here. So this is okay, but it's still like Broken Things is played, but you're still like, what, You and Me opened, right? No violin guests. So it's just like some of these shows, I thought the South got the best of the best. And what else? You get Riverside, Missouri. This was another great show because that Big Eye Fish and the Bartender with Jake. First time ever he's doing a fish tender 2-piece combo. And that was a standout. To me, the Big Eye Fish Bartender was better than anything at Deer Creek. To have Jake on those two songs and have that violin present was better than anything at Deer Creek. Now, people may disagree, but if I could choose between that moment and Deer Creek, I would choose between that moment. And I got Fish Tender with Jake at SPAC. And so we could kind of skip through this because the tour after Riverside, when you get to Riverside, Missouri, the tour was weird between this show and then everything after that, because Deer Creek is like, it's okay. Deer Creek, you had a Camden 2-night stand where the first night was a little confusing. Night 2 picked it up a little bit, but I think Camden was below average for this year but they've had some great years before this. But then you get to that's Camden, 710, 711. Then you get to Guilford, and there's no violin guest at Guilford, but you get If I Had It All comes back. You Never Know is in there. Break Free, Broken Things, Typical Situation, Some Devil tour debut, Spoon. This was the best day for tour debuts. But don't go to Guilford because they're not going to debut these songs next year because they're mixing it up. Like If I Had It All, Spoon, and Some Devil, like that was, and I happened to meet Dave that night. But I was like, if this is the show that's going to complement me meeting Dave and they don't have a violin available, this is a great show. But there's beers here, so don't come to this venue. And again, it's going to be bad next year because they played all these good songs. Night 2 was interesting. At the end, they seemed to run out of. They seemed like Guilford was like they went hard the first night and part of the beginning of night 2, and they lost some energy at the end. And Dave kind of made it so that they play YM to close out. Okay, but it's like you could tell the band was. They went hard night 1. And night 2, they needed some more breathers, which is fine. Still, Cha-Cha comes in, Stone Last Stop. That Stone Last Stop 1-2 punch was just incredible. It was incredible. So you get 2 Guilford shows. Night 1, I think, was better than night 2, but you still get some strong songs where I wasn't thinking about the violin as much because the sets were pretty solid. And then you get to SPAC, and it's just like, it's amazing, right? And the funny thing is, I would have taken a Bayou opener to have a show like this any day of the week. I would have taken a Bayou opener in Hartford over Jimmy thing. So as much as I was like, oh, Bayou started, it wasn't as bad. In this show, Beach Ball comes back. My first ever Beach Ball, first time played full band since 2020, and finally got that scene. It was incredible, as I thought it would be. Jake comes on during Captain, and that's a song I love. A lot of fans don't really care at any given show. They talk during and go to the bathroom. But Captain, then he goes to Rooftop. He's flexing on us saying, hey, I could play violin on Rooftop too. Seek Up was just phenomenal with that violin. Fish Tender that I had hoped for from Missouri hits me at SPAC. And then you get Gray Street Pig, Ants, all with Jake. And this is a show you're like, oh, wait, Jake is here for half the show. Incredible. Let's do it again tomorrow. So we did it again tomorrow. and that show was also incredible. You get a Sweet Up and Down early, a Granny Nancy's Sweet Up and Down Joyride 41. And, I have my qualms of 41, but that run of 5 songs was incredible. Like, that is incredible. Then you get some stuff, you're like, man, Stay or Leave is okay, but She, man, You Might Die Trying. Okay, where's Jake? Like, We Might Die Trying, but I need Jake. If only, like, the worst liberation of the year by far. It'd probably be the worst liberation of the year, even if they do some other stuff. A mid-set Watchtower. This was phenomenal. This is where Watchtower belongs. I don't need it to ever be played again, but if they're going to play it, it gets the crowd going, mid-set. Broken Things right after it with Jake. Jane, Dream Girl, Crush, Drunk, that Crush. Ooh, that Crush with the violin. Ooh, that was. And so this is like, this SPAC weekend, people are like, yo, is he going to stay? If he stays, it'll be awesome. And he stayed. Okay, we get that Halloween in the set closer, 2-step with real fiddle. I'm a real fiddle to close out. We love Buddy, man. I can say that more than anyone, but having that real violin and then having Buddy on keys, perfect. Doesn't have to worry about playing those other parts. Darien Lake was another show where you have Jake for the half of it, and you have American Baby with violin. You have Every Day was so much better with Jake than it was. I hope Boyd as well. Boyd had some great moments. In my tenure, even though he was at the end before I started going to shows, people talk about some stuff. Man, that Every Day with Jake, it was so much better. The E-violin wah pedal thing that Boyd did. Right. but so like Every Day is elevated because of Jake. American Baby, Jimmy thing with violin, Satellite with violin, piano. Like, so this was. And so this is where you're like, okay, let's just keep Jake rolling along. He's at a random show in Darien Lake after SPAC, and then comes to Burgerstown. Now, he was supposed to be 721 at Jones Beach. And then you're like, sweet. And then they're like, that's all for Jake. And you're like, oh, no. Oh, no. Dang it. I was like, I was telling people, I think if he goes to these next 2 shows, he'll be in Hartford. And he was not at Hartford. And I made sure I told y'all before I started streaming, like, just let you know, this is what's the changes. This Hartford show was, again, looks a lot better to me for what I like to go to shows for. Again, people are different. That's fine. But, Pig, Stone, Break Free, American Baby, the Stone. Great stuff. I didn't like the Watchtower closer. Again, put it mid-set. But again, most people at that crowd loved, or at that show loved the Watchtower closer. And then we're here tonight. Final tour stop, and it is what it is. But I think again, a lot of people at the venue said they liked it. I'll have more stuff on Instagram and maybe on YouTube during the tour break. I have a lot of work to do, a lot of wrestling to do, but I think this tour, Jake has been the fact that Jake has stuck around has been very. It's like you like after seeing him at SPAC, it's like I saw him at Hartford. Again, I had to recalibrate and say, yo, you saw Stone, you saw this, but I'm like, I want Jake. I understand why people who have seen Jake are like, yo, I need Jacob back again. Like, yo, my boy Jake, can you come back to this show? Because SPAC was so incredible with him. And the sets, even if they took that set from SPAC both nights and Jake wasn't even there, they were like, whatever Dave was doing, he was making better sets when he was writing stuff in for Jake to be at a half show. So I don't know. I think this tour, though, the band has given a lot of value to fans who travel to 3, 4, 5, 6 shows. You're getting a lot of lack of repeats. You're getting a lot of unique openers. Only song that's been repeated twice from what I saw was Granny in the opening slot. Every show has a tour debut. Now, every show doesn't have the one that you may want, like If Only for SPAC Night 2. But somebody else likes that. And so I loved the beach ball one, night one of SPAC. I didn't like if only night two of SPAC. Someone may have disliked both of them. But the band, Dave is writing sets that are expanding the catalog. That's what we wanted for years. Some of it has been good. Some of it has been concerning because nobody wanted Can't Stop Back. Well, somebody did. I know they did, but I didn't want it. That's what I should say. Let me be honest. I didn't want Can't Stop Back. I didn't want Come On Back. But I wanted beach ball back. And so some people didn't care about beach ball, but I did. So that's what it is. But this band has been working hard to really get through this. They are not getting any younger. And even though they've had some more breaks than normal, I credit this crew. I credit this band because every year they're at it. The people who did the Taylor Swift tour, they don't have a Taylor Swift tour this year. Now they may have work elsewhere in the concert industry, but people who work for the crews of a lot of different acts that are very popular, they don't tour every year. So they do get a summer where they can take their kids to certain places that the tour a year they have a big tour they can't do. And so I just credit this band and this staff and just being able to get to have some conversations with some people that are part of the crew and staff and the band, at Guilford. I just respect what they do. It is not easy to do this every year, even with some of the amenities. And yes, there's luxury coach buses, there's private jets for some band, for the band members, really, right? And sometimes, you may have another crew, a guy like Fenton on the PJ. But other than that, like it's like this, they work hard and it's every year. So I credit this crew. I credit the band. I think there's some really good stuff. There's some stuff I wish they would adjust, but that's how it's always going to be. And I walked away from Guilford, Guilford, SPAC, and even Hartford, just feeling like, yeah, I'm glad that I went to these shows. And, but there's been a lot of shows this summer. I'll tell you, there's been Mansfield and Jones Beach and some other shows. I don't have FOMO for Mansfield this year, but Mansfield, some people liked what they had at Mansfield. So it's not just about me, it's about everybody. And so I didn't go. And I probably won't go back to Mansfield next year. I probably will either just cut a show or go somewhere else. And I'm likely not going to go to Jones Beach. Now, watch Jones Beach be killer next year. Like, to drive almost 3 hours or really drive, really, I'd be driving. With traffic, realistically, an extra 30 minutes to an hour added on to the trip. And so that's about 2.5, 3 hours of driving, which is most people, that's your drive. But for someone who lives close to a lot of venues that are 90 minutes away, it's like, Jones Beach is a little further than other venues that have higher value than Jones Beach, in my opinion, for what you see for sets. But yeah, here we go. This is where we are. We'll be back. By we, I mean me, because I'm doing everything here. But I'll be back. But that's true. Thank you for everyone who came on the stream. Thank you for everyone who saw me at any of the shows and just had conversations. I feel very fortunate and appreciative of all the kind words that people had in the lots. Again, I see numbers, physical numbers of what, there's 500, 600, 700 people that views for this YouTube channel, which for YouTube's sake is not a lot of views. But when I hear you guys, when some of you guys bring your kids up to me, like, oh, we both listen together. Like, as a father now, man, it's special. Like the Mike, Big Mike and Little Mike came up to me at SPAC. Yo, we both watch your show together. Like, I'm very fortunate that you guys enjoy listening to this and want to come on. People want to come on and share their perspective. It means a lot. I started this thing on my couch in my bachelor pad, my 1-bedroom apartment. About a decade ago, I started recording videos of my thoughts versus just videos of concerts. And so this has been a very special month across the board. You guys that talk to me, and I've had great conversations with you guys in the lots, being able to meet some of the band members and go backstage. at Guilford. Just the amount of support from videos and that I've gotten from some of you guys and other things with the content I've been able to put up quickly. The tapers, getting the audio out mad quicker than I can blink. And I was able to put out some content already this July where I have Sirius XM audio or taper audio, and we're getting you that high quality audio with my video right out the gate. So those things have been so special to me. I am going to enjoy being a dad during this time off. I love being a father. It can be a lot of work sometimes, but I'm going to enjoy the time with my son. Shout out to my wife, Mrs. Concert Vids. She, without her, like, say, hey, I'm going to all this stuff. She's been very flexible. She's held down, my son where he's like, oh, where's dad? Right. And some of that too, this month has also changed my perspective. Well, I still will go out to shows. I definitely see myself cutting back a little more to stuff that I can drive to and drive back same day. So perhaps I only do Guilford or SPAC next year. Right. We'll see. We'll also see where my son's at next year. I mean, for all I know, this kid's growing up so fast. He'll be driving next year and, he'll be 21 having his first drink. Like, I don't know. But I definitely think, I appreciate my wife for holding it down during some times where my son was trying to climb out his crib, all this stuff. And so family comes first. I'll have to see how he is closer to next year. Some of these shows may be game time decisions. I'm probably not going to Mansfield. But I appreciate my wife for holding it down and being a wonderful mother and just supporting my what I'm trying to do on the road. That's the main thing. She understands what I'm doing, and she's not a diehard DMB fan, but she understands the passion I have for this and has held things down. And in return, again, I'm doing all I can to make sure, hey, she's gonna get some nice. She's gonna get a nice dinner, okay, for this month, and I'm definitely gonna be trying to cut back, and because, man, these concerts will always be here, but there's only one time your child is going to be a certain age. So post-show stream's still here, but I don't know, next year, again, I may have to pick one or the other, depending on how the kid is. And I think that's an important conversation to have. Many of you guys have had conversations. Your kids are grown up, but with shows, some of you guys are expecting children. Some of you guys have a young child. I've just felt you don't want to miss out on this stuff. And so some nights, like if I'm back at the end of the night, my boy's fine. Like Hartford, he was fine. But there may only be one overnight trip for me next year. But I just, fatherhood is amazing. So thank you. I don't want to, I'm already at an hour and 12 minutes. I need to get off here. But thank you guys for the support. There will be content on the way. Like I said, the video on how the sound check, line check, all that stuff goes will be coming by the end of this week. Multi-cams, Hartford show, SPAC night 1, Guilford night 1 and 2, but in the opposite order. Guilford night 1 will be first, Guilford night 2 will be second, SPAC night 1 will be third, Hartford will probably be fourth. If you guys have videos, send them to me. Let me shut up. We'll close out with one of the highlights of the tour for me personally. Of many, but really Jake Riddick Simpson on some of these songs, but especially this Pig that he was on was one of the standouts, as well as the Seek Up. I don't want to play a 20-minute song for you guys. So this is the Pig from SPAC. It's your boy Conserviz 34. Thank you guys. I will be away from the streams because there's no shows, but you'll still get content. And I look forward to meeting you guys back here as the band picks things up in August, late August. I will be back on here with the post-show streams. If you want to come on, you're going to be at the shows, let me know. Message me on social media. What you'll see during this outro, you'll have a couple different social media handles to message: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Conserviz 34. All right, take care, guys. Peace.
Very much. What if a great wave should wash us all away? Just thinking of that. I don't mean to dwell on this dying thing, but look at our blood. It's alive right now, deep and sweet, with and pouring through our veins. Intoxicated, move those wine to tears and drinking it deeply. On an evening spent dancing, it's you and me. Oh, just love will open our eyes. Only love put the hope back in our minds. Much more than we could ever know. Oh, so don't throw the day. Not enough. This tiny sip of life, is it not enough? I stare down at the ground. Grind my teeth, play, pray, God give me more from above. We greed a little pain. Stop and watch the world as it withers away. But it's not my problem now, 'cause I'll be dead and gone in a few short years. Oh, just love will open our eyes. Only love can put the hope back in our minds. Much more than we could ever know. Oh, so don't throw your day away. Oh, don't throw it in. Don't throw it in. Come sister, my brother, don't shake off your feet and say yes. Open up, the rain gonna pour in and wash out this time no sun. All that the best is yet to come. 'Cause all while we're dancing on the ground, why think of life when you're gone? 'Cause love, 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 what more is there? All we need is that sweet love, love in there. Don't beat your head, dry your eyes, let the love in there. There's their times, but that's okay. We just put the love in there. And don't throw the day away. Don't throw the day away. Look, here are we, such a lovely night, staring into space. I must say, I feel as small as dust lying down here. Oh, what point could there be trouble?